And as we continue our coverage of COP26, a local environmental activist is this evening insisting that the speeches made by Jamaican government officials at the UN Climate Change Conference should be backed by action. Diana Macaulay says there are several things that should be done to tackle climate change when the Jamaican representatives return to the island. Vashon Brown has the details.
Fierce discussions about who is the leader in the Caribbean on climate change, an issue that has been reignited since the start of COP26 in Scotland. Some government officials have been insisting that Jamaica leads the region on climate action. Environmental activist Diana Macaulay calls the discussion a distraction.
It's kind of a red herring. I've seen this, sort of pretty hot Twitter argument and social media argument about who is the climate leader after Prime Minister Motley's speech got a lot of attention. And I really think it's a deflection, and it's not something we should be thinking about, because we need all our Caribbean leadership, Prime Minister, private sector, non-governmental organization, to be singing from the same hymn sheet. So I'm really not interested in who made the better speech or who is the best climate leader in the Caribbean. What I want to see from my leaders, though, is some understanding of the seriousness of the crisis that we are facing.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Climate Change Minister Pernell Charles Jr., and Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark are among those representing the country at the UN Climate Change Summit. Ms. Macaulay argues that after COP26, she would like to see several things happen.
What I want to see, and hasn't happened in the past, is transforming those commitments, which, as I said, I find often too general. But transforming those commitments, whether they're general or not, into specific policy intentions followed by action. So I don't want to hear we're protecting forests and then still see permits being given to take out forest with the promise that they're going to be replanted over what time frame, 30 years or something like that. I don't want to see that happen. I'm not really so interested in what is said in a speech. What I want to see is how we behave.
In the meantime, Ms. Macaulay argues that a number of things should be done locally to reduce the impact of climate change on Jamaica.
Two major industries, bauxite is one and the other one is cement, do emit large amounts of greenhouse gases. So we have to be planning about how we are going to shift away from those industries instead of what I see, which is an expansion of them. In many Caribbean islands, we are transforming from a rural economies to more urban. And we're not thinking about the development of our cities in the right way. I look at what's happening to my hometown of Kingston, and it's as if the temperatures that we are already seeing and can expect to see more of in Kingston are not happening, because there's concrete everywhere you look. There's no emphasis on green space.
Vashon Brown, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Ms. Macaulay says the beach erosion at Hellshire in St. Catherine has not been taken seriously. The erosion at Hellshire was highlighted in a primetime news special report on Monday, with the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, insisting that it has been working to reduce the problem. Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding is questioning the government's commitment to the country's climate goals. Mr. Golding says the government's decision on recent matters involving the environment proved they do not put the environment first. And for that reason, he is troubled by the speeches being given by Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his ministers at the climate summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Now, we will get back to that story in just a minute, but we have to take a break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We go back to an earlier story where environmental activist Diana Macaulay says the beach erosion at Hellshire in St. Catherine has not been taken seriously. The erosion was highlighted in a primetime news special report on Monday, with the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, insisting that it has been working to reduce the problem.
We have failed to come to grips with it. The regulators have not taken the strength of the action that has been needed. The people who live there have not accepted that they are part of the problem, and the solutions that are needed are something that no one wants to face. I think what everybody needs to understand about the climate crisis is that it's a threat multiplier. So whatever situation you have created in your country that has put people in harm's way or needs addressing, climate crisis is going to make each and every one of those worse. And that's what's happened at Hellshire. So the problems with beach erosion out there have many sources. One of them is the removal of sand dunes, the beach vegetation, the mangroves,